My name is Josephat Njovu. I'm the Executive Director for Advocates for Child Justice. Or is part of the Alliance, of which each member has to contribute something to this call in terms of responding to the needs of children or people that are suffering as a result of the lead poisoning in Kabwe. So our work and as our part of our contribution as Advocates for Child Justice is to giving a hand in whichever way. Part of it also is to host meetings, as an organization. So we did host today's meeting as Advocates for Child Justice, and also moderated in terms of making sure that we are coordinated as we discuss matters concerning lead poisoning and how the Alliance should respond to it, and also strategizing in terms of how do we respond to some of the engagements and the responses that we've gotten already from the government.
One of the key takeaways is around also having a very vigorous advocacy, joint advocacy, having common messages, and also speaking to one commonality that we are all discussing, which is the lead poisoning. But also it's important to have also key messages that we can all speak to, and I'm happy with the communication and advocacy strategy that is there. It draws us together in terms of speaking with one voice and drawing that agenda together. And also from this meeting, one of the key takeaways also is just to collaborate with the government so that we understand in terms of their priorities when it comes to the campaign that we have around Kabwe, and also to have just that continuity in terms of understanding their pathways, so that as civil society we are drawing together and addressing the same common issue. So that is quite very important in terms of having those collaborative meetings with the government.
And also the attitude that we have in terms of holding leaders accountable, be it the government or those that are implementing projects like the World Bank project that was supposed to mitigate the impact of lead poisoning in Kabwe. So I think there's need for us to package information messages that can be able to transform attitudes of people that are still scavenging those areas for minerals, and where they are even confessing that they would rather die they would rather die of lead poisoning than die of hunger. So that we find alternatives in terms of how they can live away from that kind of situation, and also making sure that the funds that are provided for projects in that area are accounted for, so that the intended purpose of those funds is actually achieved. It's very, very sad that nothing much has been done in terms of exposing some of the gaps that have happened in that area. And so we expect members of parliament that in Kabwe, we expect the councillors, the mayor, the community leaders, church leaders, traditional leaders, to join our call for us to ensure that we put our heads together to be able to come up with solutions to this problem.
Within the family setup, I think that's where the awareness should start, in terms of the dangers of how contamination starts, like how to control the children to ensure that they are not playing in contaminated soil or contaminated water, or visiting areas that are highly toxic, like the Black Mountain. I think if that control system is developed at family level by both parents, that is a good beginning point for the awareness, so that even when it goes to the community level, there's that awareness from the nuclear start point.
It's also very important that we have a very deliberate awareness raising. And in awareness raising for the communities of Kabwe is also where we need to generate the interest of the people, so that the people themselves can speak for themselves. So our role is really just to initiate those conversations, and on their own they're able to come up with the solutions, because it affects the locals, the communities themselves who are impacted in terms of the lead poisoning, and it will be important that we just facilitate those discussions for the communities, so that communities themselves own the process, and also see to it that the changes that are desirable also come forth in these communities.
Looking at other potential interventions and also resource mobilization to make sure that the cause is actually pushed to the extent that we see that this lead poisoning in Kabwe is actually mitigated. So that's what we've been up to. And then also for today's meeting, I think it went well, because we had those that came in person to attend the meeting, as well as those that were online. And in terms of the representation, I think it is well represented. Very committed organizations, and well-spirited people that want to make sure that we protect the rights of children, as well as adults here in Zambia.